Hey, I just wanted to make a quick video about a problem I've been having with eosinophilic esophagitis for like the past 10 years. And recently I discovered something new about it now that I'm finally getting to the bottom of it and I can eat again and swallow again. If you don't know what that is, it's when the eosinophils are like a form of white blood cell from what I understand, but they gather up and attack your esophagus, and it's usually because you're allergic to something. When they attack your esophagus, it shrinks it out so you can't swallow. I was so bad to the point where like in the mornings I can barely swallow water. And so it got really bad over the years, and I've had 6 procedures where they put me to sleep and go down and stretch out my esophagus. Basically they have to do it real slow so they don't rupture it and you don't bleed out and stuff. So they do numerous procedures over and over. And now I've been feeling pretty good the past 6 or 8 months. But they've given me all different kinds of prescriptions. One was omeprazole, something like that, to cut down my stomach acid, which I didn't like. I didn't like how it made me feel. I just felt like it wasn't working. It was a waste of time. Then they gave me some form of an inhaler for people with asthma. I had to spray that in my throat and swallow it rather than inhale it, which I thought was weird. That didn't do shit. Then they gave me Dupixent, which worked. It kept my eosinophil levels down. They were up in the 700s, and it put them down into the low 300s, which is normal. It's average. So it was back to normal, and my throat, or my esophagus, didn't start swelling shut anymore. But we still never addressed the root problem. So I stopped taking the Dupixent, by the way, because it was just it was a nightmare. The side effects, I started having these red blotches under my eyes and little red dots all around both of my eyes. And I've been off Dupixent for 3 or 4 months, and these are still here. So I would recommend being real careful before you take that, because they're getting money off it, and that's why they want you to take it, of course, like anything else. And it's expensive, and your insurance has to take extra steps to approve it and stuff like that. Anyway, it did its job, but it had horrible side effects. Joint pain was horrible, lethargic, and kind of a little bit of depression, which is weird. And I'm not like that. That's not the type of person I am. And I know that all the weird stuff was Dupixent because I started it and then I came off it for a few months, got better. I started it again, I came off it again, and everything got better. So it's 2 tests. I'm done with that shit. And I'll never take it again. I'm done with it. It's not for me. It might be for other people, but it's not for me. Also, in my early stages, when I started noticing there was something wrong, I would be sitting at home watching TV or reading or whatever, and I would notice a bubbling in my chest. And the doctor just thought it was genetic. They had told me at one point, we don't know what it is. They just didn't know. And it happened on and off. So it's not like I could just go to the doctor and he could put his stethoscope up to my ear or up to my chest and listen to it. So they never had a chance to hear it, but I could feel it, and I could hear it when the room was real quiet. There's a bubbling right in my chest. There's times I thought like I was going to die, like maybe it's something to do with my heart. It's really weird, and certain positions would make it worse. That was before I was diagnosed with the eosinophilic esophagitis. Then I found out after my eosinophil levels went down that's what it was. I never have that problem anymore. I never have that problem anymore with the bubbling in my chest. And that was pretty scary. To hear a bubbling in your chest, you don't know what the hell it is. It was scary, and that happened for years. So anyway, I pretty much self-diagnosed the e.o.e. problem, which e.o.e. is eosinophilic esophagitis. They call it e.o.e. for short. I diagnosed it myself. My doctor sent me to a intergastroenterologist somewhere in Idaho, and they took care of me. They're the ones that, put me to sleep and did the procedure where they, dilated my esophagus. But it started coming back, and I haven't went down for another dilation procedure in probably 4 months. Everything was good, but it was slowly starting to come back. I was having this problem of my throat swelling up again. And I thought it was because of soy, because when they sent me into the allergist, they said that soy is the main thing I'm allergic to, besides cats. It's soy. Soy is what I'm allergic to. So soy is what we figured is probably causing all these problems, because it's in everything. Soy is in everything. And I believe them. I think they're right. I cut back on the soy, and the problem slowly came back. It's been pretty good ever since. But I had a jiu-jitsu tournament in Las Vegas the other day, and I had to cut weight for it. And my e.o.e. has been acting up. Slowly over time is getting worse and worse. And on my way to Vegas and in Vegas, the first couple days, I was having trouble swallowing. When I was eating, I had to take very small bites, and it was just a pain in the ass again. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go get another dilation procedure and just do this the rest of my fucking life. But I had to cut weight the next day, so I knew I wasn't gonna eat for about 20 to 24 hours, something like that. No big deal. I usually don't fast that long. Sometimes I go through phases where I'll fast every day for 16 hours for a few months or whatever, but I haven't done that in a while. So anyway, I had to cut a bunch of weight. I didn't eat from 9 p.m. one night until about 7 to 8 o'clock the next night. That's the amount of time where I stopped drinking water and stopped eating. I also had to take, some Epsom salt baths to get the water out of me, and do a lot of cardio, because I ended up cutting weight from roughly 194 pounds down to 181 pounds during that window of time. From when I woke up the next morning, I woke up fasted, obviously, and for about 10 hours I cut weight, 8 or 9 hours, whatever it was, and I got that weight out of me. But what I didn't notice until I ate after the weigh-ins, when I went to eat, is my e.o.e. was completely cleared up. I didn't have any trouble swallowing. This has been about, that was Wednesday when I cut all the weight last week, and now it is Monday. So it's been 5 days. I've had very little problems, pretty much no problems with my e.o.e. I've been swallowing everything just fine. Everything I eat have been back to normal again. So this long drawn out video is just to hope that I can help at least one other person, that they might want to start practicing fasting whenever your e.o.e. starts kicking up, because usually when it kicks up, it don't go away without using Dupixent, and they don't know what the long-term side effects of Dupixent is yet. They don't know none of that shit. I don't care what they tell you. And or if any of these, like they tried to get me to take omeprazole, you can't even take that. You start getting brittle bones if you take that longer than a year or two. And I train submission grappling arts, judo, jiu-jitsu. I can't be having brittle bones from omeprazole. People try to break my fucking bones. So I quit taking that shit. It was done with it. But the Dupixent, I didn't trust. I didn't like how it made me feel. My joints are hurting. I'm achy all the time. I'm lethargic. I just felt like it's just not me. It really sucked. And it takes a while to get out of your system too. So just because you stop taking the shot, it's going to take a couple weeks to feel a little better and a couple months to feel back to normal. That shit stays in your system. The half-life, they say they don't even know the real half-life, but I believe they said what they think it is 2 to 3 months. But they're still not even sure about it, how long that shit lingers in your system. So, that's just my opinion on it. But anyway, if you're having trouble with e.o.e., try fasting maybe once a week or something for 12, 16, maybe 20 hours. And I mean no water, no food, no nothing. And see if that helps you. Maybe start trying with 8 hours, 10 hours. Maybe it's that simple. But I'm talking, when I say no, nothing, I didn't have anything, not a drop of water. Nothing. Except for when I brushed my teeth. And obviously I didn't swallow that toothpaste water in the morning. No water I had when I was cutting that weight. I'm not saying you got to be so extreme as to do a full water weight cut. That isn't fun, that isn't safe, and isn't healthy for anybody. But maybe some of you guys will have good reactions for your e.o.e. if it starts flaring up again on you, because this almost reversed it. I've never had it be reversed without going in and having a dilation, being put to sleep and having a dilation, take the whole day off work to have them put me to sleep and go in and dilate my esophagus. And then that is not painful. It's pretty simple, but it's a pain in the ass. And also, I didn't have to take any shots of Dupixent or anything like that. I didn't have to take any pills or anything. I just fasted and didn't drink any water or nothing while I was cutting this weight for my jiu-jitsu competition. And then I've been fine ever since. So I thought it was pretty weird how my e.o.e. was acting up so bad, and when I cut this weight, now it's getting all better. So it's been really good for a few days. And the next time it starts kicking up and I'm having trouble swallowing, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to try to fast. I'll just start with maybe 12 hours or something. No water whatsoever. no food, nothing, and just see what happens. And just as another little note, before I started the whole weight cut, right before I started fasting, I did drink 1.5 gallons of water, and then I started fasting. So I loaded my body with water. That way my body would get rid of as much water as it could. It starts to think it's drowning, basically. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it either. Guess we'll find out. But for now, I'm able to eat food again and swallow food again, and I'm having no problems taking my vitamins, because if you have bad e.o.e, you know it scares the shit out of you to take any vitamin or pill bigger than the size of an aspirin. I've even had aspirins and Tylenols get stuck to, I've had hundreds of times to where I was trying to eat food and I had to stop eating, put my plate down. And what I started doing most recently, right before I had my dilations done, is I'd have to go into the bathroom and force myself to puke my food up. And I mean from the gut, like real puke, like not just a little bit of spitting it up like I used to do. I had to start forcing it from the gut, deep in the gut, to get everything in my esophagus up out of me so I wasn't going to choke to death and die. There's many times where I was panicking and almost thought I was going to panic so much I'd pass out or stop breathing, but I was luckily able to breathe through my nose. And this shit ain't fun, man. It scares you. It scares your family. I've had it happen in restaurants where the owner had to follow me outside wondering what the hell was going on because I'm out in the parking lot trying to make myself puke all the food back up. It's a scary thing. So if you're having trouble with this, I feel for you, and I hope this video will help you a little bit. Please try fasting for a day. I'm not a big advocate for fasting or anything. I'm not like that. I was really surprised at how I fasted for roughly 20 hours or whatever it was, and my e.o.e reversed. It went backwards. Like, it went backwards. I'm eating, I'm swallowing food again. I took all my vitamins and pills today with no problem. So I'm extremely happy, and hopefully it'll keep going that way. The reason I think it started flaring up in the first place anyway was probably just because of eating out and eating food with soy in it, shit like that. Prior to that happening, I had a little bit too much soy probably in my diet, and that's what happened. The soy makes my body react in a weird way because I'm allergic to it, so the eosinophils start attacking my esophagus, shrinking it up and making it so I can't swallow. And for other people, it's a dairy product. I've read that some people have had milk, eggs, stuff like that, give it to them. And there's a few other things, wheat, gluten, stuff like that. Other people, they get flare-ups because of that. And for me, it happens to be soy. Also, I've heard that some people, it's fish that can do that to them. Those are the big ones. But for me, it was soy. After all these years, we finally got it figured out. And now that I discovered that when it flares up, I just got to fast for 12, 15, 20 hours, whatever it is, and that'll help. Man, that's a game changer for me. I'm really happy with that because everybody knows fasting is good for you, especially if you're doing it once a week or something. So anyway, I hope this helps. I'll shut up now. Have a good day. Talk to you guys later.